What's happening, YouTube? I made this video based off of a response that Dave Palumbo and Chris Aceto and John Romano and what's the other guy's name? Greg Valentino, the guy with the exploding arms. They all made a response video to Shawn Ray's interview that he did the other day. Let me come with this a bit more light. And in their video, they wanted to debate whether Shawn was justified in saying that Chad Nicholls, which is like a nutrition trainer who has trained or who has coached on nutrition and drugs, Dallas McCarver, who is dead, and a bunch of other bodybuilders that have died due to certain, let's just say, unfavorable circumstances. And I'll post a link in the description to that 2-hour interview because it's actually a really good interview. Shawn Ray's pretty honest and tells the truth about most stuff. But anyway, back to the point, which is going to be quick. Dave Palumbo and all of those guys are basically saying you cannot blame Chad for the reason that all of these guys have died. And I partially agree with them that you cannot prove that it was the drugs unequivocally that Chad was giving these guys that caused them to roll over and die. However, let's be honest, if there's 10 dead bodybuilders on your list of people that you was training and a few others like Ronnie Coleman and Flex Wheeler that were hospitalized after or before a show because they was on your plan, your nutrition plan, let's use that term loosely, then there is a factor that is obviously linked. I don't want to say that you can blame Chad for these guys' deaths because at the end of the day, bodybuilding is an extreme sport. But let's just be honest. Dave Palumbo is the reason why you have the term Palumboism, where the guys have the big blown out guts. And he will not admit that he used or abused drugs, but the reality is he did. And if you look at how Dave Palumbo looks right now, he looks terrible with all loose skin and his veins are hanging out, and he might think that that's a good look, but he looks like one of those ancient bodybuilders that are way past their prime, still trying to hang on to the bodybuilding lifestyle, and it just doesn't look good. Greg Valentino's arms exploded because he was pumping them with so much crap. I think he got to like between 23 and 25 inch arms, but they didn't even look real in the first place. I mean, what's wrong with having arms that are smaller that people can at least tell are your own? AKA ones like this. What's wrong with these? They're not huge. I don't have huge bodybuilding arms, but people can tell I work out. I'm over 40 years old. I'm still fit and healthy. I can still outrun a whole slew of people that are younger than me. It's better just to be fit than it is to be a huge bodybuilder, especially when you pass the age of 40. You've got to think about your health more. Bear in mind, Dave Palumbo and all of those guys, Chris Aceto, he still trains people and does their diet plan, these guys are highly biased, and because they still work and are involved and make their money through the IFBB, then they are obviously going to have a biased view when it comes to our diet gurus killing bodybuilders. They say, oh no, it's the bodybuilders' fault. They have to take the stuff. But you know what? When doctors prescribe medicine to people and they prescribe the wrong medicine and that person dies, they're liable, which is why doctors have a legal team that is gigantic in order to protect themselves. And I think that a lot more responsibility needs to be put on the diet gurus as far as what they're giving the bodybuilders, and also the judges need to start penalizing bodybuilders for having a certain look. If you want to get rid of the big bloated guts, you have to stop rewarding the big guys with the bloated guts on stage, and then you'll be able to bring the current bodybuilders to be more streamlined. This is obvious. This should be something simple to figure out. So, but I just wanted to say that don't listen to Dave Palumbo. I respect him and I listen to his show all the time, and Chris Aceto, but those guys are biased when it comes to steroids and drugs and whether it causes heart attacks. Whenever that subject comes up, those guys always want to blame other factors. Well, these guys were doing recreational drugs too. These guys were doing X, Y, and Z. They didn't get their blood work checked. They didn't get this checked. They didn't get that checked. But just in the past few years, if you follow bodybuilding, there's been plenty of professionals that die young, way too young, or don't make it to their 60s and 70s. And these are just the ones we hear about. What about the bodybuilders that are amateurs that are dying because they have no idea what they're doing and they are taking way too much gear? Anyway, that's the video. Let me know what you think. Do you believe that someone like Chad Nicholls should have no responsibility when probably 10 bodybuilders under his nutrition plan have already passed away? Was Shawn Ray right about that? Or was he unjustified in saying that Chad Nicholls has blood on his hands? Let me know what you think.